Hello there, wishing you a wonderful day. When we are young, we're often taught that hard work is the key to success and that effort is the measure of a person's worth. But as we grow older, when time is no longer abundant and energy is no longer overflowing, happiness sometimes comes from being lazy in a wise way, not careless or irresponsible, but letting go of what is no longer worth it. It means saving your strength for what truly matters. Daring to be lazy and chasing others' expectations. Lazy in arguing to preserve your peace. Lazy in clinging to one-sided relationships. And lazy in worrying about things you cannot control. At an age when every morning you wake up is a gift, peace doesn't come from doing more, but from choosing more carefully, choosing tasks, choosing people, choosing emotions. Being lazy at the right time, in the right way, with the right people, is a profound kind of wisdom in old age. In today's video, we will explore 5 things that the lazier you are at doing them, the lighter and more peaceful your spirit becomes. You don't need to rush to change the world. Just begin by gently letting go of one thing each day, because sometimes the path to happiness begins with a quiet step back. There are things in life that we only truly understand once we've passed the midpoint of our journey. One of them is realizing that what others think of us matters far less than we once believed. Have you ever asked yourself, am I living this way for myself or for the eyes of others? How many times have you changed the way you dress, speak, or even live, just out of fear of being judged? Many people spend the majority of their lives exhausted from chasing societal standards, being successful, being well-mannered, being perfect. But as the years go by, we begin to see that those things don't bring true happiness. The truth is, people are too busy with their own lives to really notice or care how you live yours. And if someone does pay attention, most of the time it's because they're comparing themselves, not because they genuinely care. Living to please others is the shortest path to long-term insecurity. The good news is, you can stop. As you grow older, you have the privilege of living authentically, without needing anyone's permission. This isn't selfishness, it's awareness. Because when you live truthfully, you inspire others to do the same. You're no longer bound by external expectations. You feel lighter, more at peace, and most importantly, happier. Start by asking yourself, today, am I doing this for me or for someone else? If the answer isn't you, have the courage to adjust. Don't read negative comments. Don't compare your life to polished images online. Wear the clothes you like, eat the food you crave, live the life you choose, as long as it doesn't harm anyone. Focus on the small joys of each day and stay true to the values you believe in. You'll be surprised to find that once you stop fearing the gaze of others, you begin to truly see yourself. And when you finally live the life you long for, that's when you start radiating freedom and peace to those around you. And sometimes, to truly live lightly, you also need to learn how to stop holding on to relationships that no longer bring peace. Let's continue to explore why that matters so much. There are relationships that once brought you joy, once were your support, and once gave you a reason to keep striving every day. But over time, what was once a place of peace can slowly become a burden. The truth is, not all connections are meant to last forever. And holding on to something that has run its course may be exactly what's keeping you from finding ease in your later years. Letting go of strained relationships does not mean being selfish or turning your back. It is a conscious and loving act toward yourself. You no longer have to endure tense conversations, words of blame hidden behind fake smiles, or the presence of people who only reach out when they need something. You no longer have to strain yourself to maintain a connection just because of duty or a long history. Old age is the time when you should be surrounded by those who bring you peace, not by those who require you to brace yourself before every encounter. A phone call that makes you sigh, a message that stirs anxiety, that's no longer a relationship worth keeping. In contrast, those who make you feel at ease even in silence, who check in without expecting anything in return, those are the ones you should cherish. If you find a relationship that feels like mere obligation, or one that drains you more than nourishes you, allow yourself to take a step back. No arguments, no anger. Just a choice to stop investing time and energy in something that no longer fits. You deserve peace. And if the other person truly values you, they will feel that space and adjust. And if they don't, they were never really there for you to begin with. Letting go is not a failure. It's how you clear your life of things that no longer hold meaning. Focus on the relationships that nourish you. The old friend who always remembers your birthday, the neighbor who checks in when you're absent, the family member who listens without judgment. Give your time to them and to yourself instead of straining to hold on to a thread that is frayed. Starting today, give yourself permission to choose again. Who deserves a place in your life? Who makes you feel unconditionally loved? And who makes you feel like you must constantly prove you're good enough? Be honest with your answers. Because old age should not be a race to please others. It should be a reward, a chapter where you live in the peace you rightfully deserve. It's not easy to let go, but you don't have to do it overnight. Just begin by stopping the effort. Stop being the one who always calls first. Stop being the one who always makes peace. Stop being the one who constantly wonders, what did I do wrong? Watch who remains when you stop trying to hold on. You may be surprised by the answer. And trust that, once you've cleared that emotional space, kind people, old and new, will come in. Not because you need them, but because you deserve them. They will come without you having to chase. They will stay without you needing to prove yourself. A life no longer burdened by maintaining just-for-show relationships gives you more time to enjoy the present, to do what you love, and to live as your truest self, in the lightest and most natural way possible. And once you've learned how to choose healthy relationships, you'll come to realize one more truth, that you don't need to change anyone. The only person you can and should change is yourself. Let's continue the journey with that understanding. There is a common mistake that leaves many people feeling exhausted throughout their lives, trying to change others. You may have said, if only they would change, everything would be different. Or, I just want to help them be better. But the truth is, no one changes just because you want them to. They change only when they're ready. The first thing to change is your perspective. Not everyone lives by the same framework as you. Each person has their own upbringing, fears, values, and limitations. Just because you believe something is good doesn't mean the other person is ready to embrace it at this moment. As you grow older, you begin to realize the best thing you can do for others is not to fix them, but to live with integrity, compassion, and strength so they can reflect on themselves when the time comes. Many people feel disappointed because they tried their best, but the other person didn't change. They believe that love, patience, or sincere advice should yield results. But the essence of change lies in inner strength. No one matures because of advice. They grow through experience. Instead of spending your energy trying to correct others, you can learn to step back, listen, and trust in each person's unique process. This doesn't mean abandoning them. It means respecting their journey. Old age is not the time to keep playing the role of rescuer for everyone. You've come far enough to understand peace is the most precious asset, and the beautiful truth is that you can create it yourself. Spend time doing things that nourish your inner world. Walking alone, reading books you love, tending to plants, listening to instrumental music, meditating gently each morning. When you're at peace, you no longer overreact to others' behavior. You learn to let go, not because you don't care, but because you refuse to be pulled into the same exhausting cycles. Letting go of trying to change others doesn't mean accepting all behavior. On the contrary, you should have clear boundaries. What's acceptable, what's not, and how you will respond if those boundaries are crossed. Boundaries aren't punishment, they are protection. By calmly and firmly expressing your limits, you teach others how to treat you without shouting, complaining, or needing to change them. And you'll see that once you stop trying to fix everyone, life becomes surprisingly lighter. You have more time to return inward. You feel freer because you've stopped carrying a burden that was never yours to bear. In fact, you may witness something remarkable. The other person begins to change, not because you push them, but because they see the peace within you. Your calm and steady presence becomes the clearest mirror. Sometimes the best way for someone to change is to give them enough space to reflect, while you continue living a life worth admiring. And so you'll continue your journey through old age more fully, not as someone trying to fix the world, but as someone who observes with serenity, loves with discernment, and chooses what's truly worthy of your remaining time and energy. Ultimately, once you've learned to let go of the need to control others, you'll uncover a deeper layer. True peace comes when you no longer feel the need to control life itself. That will be the next step in your journey toward a joyful and meaningful old age. One of the things that exhausts older adults the most doesn't come from illness or finances, but from the feeling of being forgotten, of no longer being valued. They were once the center of the family, the pillar others relied on, the one always there when someone needed help. But over time, the circle of relationships changes. People who were once close begin to call and message less. Some friends or relatives you once cherished quietly drift away without even offering an explanation. You naturally start to ask yourself, did I do something wrong? And you try harder. You call first. You send the first message. You're always the one keeping the connection alive. But the more you try, the more you realize you're the only one making the effort. The other side seems indifferent, distant, or simply no longer interested in maintaining the relationship. What you must remember is this: people who truly value you will never make you chase after them. A healthy relationship always involves effort from both sides. If only one person is holding on, maintaining, and constantly compromising, that's not a connection, it's an emotional burden. When you stop chasing those who don't appreciate you, you begin to reclaim space, emotionally and mentally, to build connections that truly matter. It could be an old friend who unexpectedly reaches out after years, a neighbor you greet each morning, a young grandchild who comes to you for advice. These simple but genuine relationships are the ones that truly nurture you. Letting go doesn't mean blaming or resenting. Letting go is a conscious step to protect your inner peace. You don't need to judge those who have left. They have their reasons, their paths, their own choices. What you need is not to understand or forgive, but to accept. Not everyone who once shared your life is meant to stay until the end. Ask yourself again, who are you investing your emotions in? Are you forcing yourself to keep relationships just because of the past? Are you wasting precious time chasing someone who no longer truly cares? If the answer is yes, then it's time to stop. And strangely enough, when you stop trying to please someone, you begin to attract the right people. You become grounded and valuable in the eyes of those who truly want to connect. Your clarity and calmness become rare, especially in a world full of noise and pretense. Stop the chase. Start living. Spend your energy on those who make you feel heard, loved, and accepted without conditions. Because in the end, old age should not be a struggle to hold on, but a season to lovingly choose the relationships that truly matter. And when you let go of the need to prove your worth to those who don't value you, you're also opening a new chapter, one of accepting life as it is, without needing to control or force anything. That's exactly what we'll explore next. We grow up believing that controlling everything will keep us safe and happy. We plan everything, from finances and health to the smallest details of daily life. But life always has its own way of reminding us, not everything is within our control. And the older we get, the more deeply we understand this truth. An unexpected rain ruins the picnic you've been looking forward to. A routine health check reveals something unforeseen. A loved one suddenly moves away or quietly fades out of your life without notice. The unexpected, whether big or small, is always a natural part of life. And if you keep trying to control everything, you'll find yourself constantly anxious, tense, and disappointed. Because no plan is perfect. No one stays healthy forever, and no one is guaranteed to stay by your side always. Instead of trying to grip life tightly, you need to learn how to let go. Letting go of control doesn't mean giving up. It is an act of courage and wisdom. When you accept that you cannot control everything, you also allow yourself to fully enjoy the present. You stop living with the fear of, what if something happens tomorrow? And start asking, am I living fully today? Take a deep breath. Look around. What do you still have in your hands? Your health, maybe not perfect, but enough to go for a morning walk. A warm cup of tea by the window, a heartfelt conversation with a loved one, a song that brings back beautiful memories. All these little things, if you pause and truly feel them, are pieces of genuine happiness. Things don't need to be perfect. Not everyone needs to understand or agree. Not every plan has to unfold as expected. Happiness doesn't lie in control. It lies in letting go at the right time. It's when you learn to say, "It's okay, everything will be all right," and truly believe it. You can't control time, but you can choose how to spend it. You can't control others' emotions, but you can manage your own. You can't control the chaos out there, but you can create a peaceful space within. And that is the greatest power you hold, especially in the later years of life. Be gentle with yourself. Don't blame yourself for what you couldn't do. Don't force yourself to be okay every day. Sometimes allowing yourself to be vulnerable, to let things be as they are, is the strongest way to keep moving forward. Old age should not be a race to control more. It should be a time to learn how to live in harmony with everything that was, is, and will be. Not resisting, but flowing with it, like water gently moving over stone, quiet, unforced, yet enduring and profound. And in that letting go, you will find a happiness that has no conditions, a peace that needs no validation, a freedom that comes from within and cannot be taken away. Something magical happens when you enter old age with a light heart. You no longer have anything to prove. No more striving to be perfect. No more holding on to those who wish to leave. No more trying to control the world around you just to feel safe. You begin to realize happiness doesn't come from the grand things you achieve, but from the small things you're willing to let go of. Let go of unnecessary expectations. Let go of the fear of what others think. Let go of the urge to save everyone. Let go of those who no longer see your worth. And when you let go, you lose nothing. In fact, you regain yourself, a version of you that is calmer, deeper, and freer than ever before. Old age is not an ending. It is a new chapter where you get to live most authentically. No more playing roles. No more rushing. Only what is most essential remains: gratitude, acceptance, and the ability to savor each present moment. You don't need to do anything more to deserve happiness. You've always been worthy. And if today you choose to slow down, to love yourself more, to loosen the hands that have grown tired from holding on, then you've already begun that journey. Because in the end, old age should not be a burden. It should be a reward. And you deserve to receive that reward in full, with a light heart and a peaceful smile. Wishing you joy always, and see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.